Welcome to the Real Aesthetic Podcast, a real deal on like aesthetics and stuff.
Oh, we've been rolling this whole time.
He was my gopher.
I'm your host, Alexis Arsenis. We're going to have a good time here. Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Aesthetic Podcast. Today, we are doing a bonus episode because my awesome producer, Nick, is with me today.
Hello.
And this hot topic of this Lily Phillips, right? That's her name? Is it's circling everywhere.
It is.
And Nick felt that we should do a review. So I watched this last night.
I mean, you tend to be pretty opinionated with stuff, and I noticed that like it is a little trendy right now,
Yeah.
whatever, and it doesn't have much to do with aesthetics, but mostly just lifestyle. And I figured as a woman who's a business owner and a strong, independent woman who does her own thing,
Who has my own schedule because
I would say life is all about choices. You know what I mean?
It is.
And
good, bad, or indifferent.
And you've made some choices in your life that have gotten you to where you are. And Lily Phillips is making choices. There's that trend. I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok recently. We listen and we don't judge.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, let me tell you, here at Real Aesthetic Studios, we listen.
We judge.
We listen and we judge very hard. And I just thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to.
No, I love it because I think it's different. It breaks up the whole business vibe and gets us more on a personal level. So I think it's really cool. Never did I think you were going to send me something like this.
Yeah. So I figured we could kind of watch the documentary together and pause it at certain points and then comment on things. And I thought it would be a fun.
Because it's so bad, guys. It's so, it's not that it's done bad. The documentary itself, I don't think is a bad, like the filming of it, I don't think was terrible.
No, I mean, it's a new age kind of YouTube style documentary.
Yeah.
The guy, Josh Peters, is the YouTuber. He's a British YouTuber and I guess filmmaker now. I would consider him a filmmaker because it's a lot of work that went into the making of the film. We're here definitely though to talk about the subject matter of it. And
so for those that don't know, Lily Phillips had this idea.
But she's an OnlyFans star.
She's an OnlyFans Instagram model. She's an OnlyFans star. Yeah. Okay.
Also, I think I've just got to preemptively say a lot of what I have to say on this show and this topic is there's a lot of sarcasm involved. So take the things with a grain of salt. I don't want to come off like I'm judging all sex workers. I think that there's like
no, I don't have a problem with sex workers.
There's a stigma, and like if you're a star or whatever, like okay, fine, like you do you. I think it's the funniest aspect of this whole thing. Not to cut you off, the funniest thing to me, and in my strange sense of humor, is that you have the people that are like completely against OnlyFans and sex work and things like that. You have the people that are completely for it, right? To me, I find the humor in, okay, so you're going to be a porn star. Is there a line? Is there a line?
Where is the line?
Where you stop, And throughout the documentary, she actually says that there are certain things that she won't do. Like she doesn't want to hurt herself. People want her to like send weird fetish videos. She doesn't do stuff like that. That's fine.
I don't know. She kind of lost that for me in the first part of this that we're going to see.
Yeah, multiple guys at once, I guess, is interesting to watch for some people. 100 guys in a day is the point of the documentary. And I said, there's no way that Alexis wouldn't have an opinion on this. Is why I sent it to you. That's why.
So I do definitely have many opinions on this. And I'm not against, I mean, listen, if you want to be a sex worker, like do your thing. I mean, it doesn't affect me. So whatever. But I like do what you want. I don't care.
Right.
But I think the difference here too is I think the United States views sex different than in the UK.
I would say Europe in general.
Yeah,
it's very liberated sexually
comparative to here. I think as a mother looking at this, it's a lot different. So I feel bad for her is what I do, because I think that I think she's doing this stuff for notoriety. I mean, honestly, who wants to sleep with 100 guys in a day? First of all, that's disgusting. Like, it's a health hazard. I'm sorry. You can't tell me she says downstairs doesn't hurt. Okay. That's
Would
just
you like to get into this documentary a
yeah,
little bit?
let's do it. Oh
Let's
my god.
watch
I'm
some of
sorry.
this.
I'm just like,
No, it's
this
all
is
right.
so much.
I'm Lily Phillips, and today I'm getting run through
She
by
is beautiful.
100 guys.
Okay, right off the bat, today I'm getting ran through by 100 guys.
Yeah. Definitely like not the images I would have put for this. I would have like a leg.
So before we get started, can we have a little like 5-minute chat, maybe
Yeah.
less, about your view of I don't know. Okay, so we're both the same age, we're
Mhm.
like a month apart. When we were growing up, I just feel like obviously adult entertainment, because you
Mhm.
can't say the P word on YouTube or they demonetize and
Okay.
take things away. So, or a lot of people podcasts, they'll call it corn, like on the cob, corn,
Oh, okay.
instead of, to
Okay.
get around shit. So, um, I just feel like it wasn't as prevalent, and maybe because I was young, and then you can have access to more as you get older. But also, the internet was aging
Yeah.
with us. Like when we were born the year the internet was invented. Isn't that
Mhm.
crazy to think about? So, like, we grew up with it, but, like, I remember when the iPhone came out. I remember stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so for your, like, early but now they're, like, 6 and 7-year-olds with iPhones that can watch this crap if
Yeah.
they want to, and just, I guess, put it on their parents' credit card or something, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Olivia buys shit on
Um
my phone.
right, imagine seeing on your statement, OnlyFans account, $5.99 a month or whatever, and
Uh,
it's do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So that's the thing. So, and I also think that, like, there was always a little bit of a separation, at least for our generation growing up, between the adult entertainment industry and reality. So
yeah.
it was like, if you're watching that, I mean, it can be addictive and for male mental health and a whole bunch. I'm sure females too, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
learning about sex and learning about what relationships are supposed to be like, learning all of that from adult entertainment is completely not a good thing,
No,
you
but
know?
maybe it's just me and maybe, maybe I'm kind of prude about things,
Maybe.
but I never remember sex being like a topic in my like we never talked about it.
Oh, we never talked about it. We
It was
never
something that was never spoken about.
Yeah.
It was not something that um I think anyone was like like I wasn't like in a rush to go out to like meet, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like that for me.
Well, so this is the thing with the OnlyFans, and the reason that I changed I bring up the stuff from back in the day,
Yeah.
like, it was so separated. Like, if you consumed adult entertainment, it was like a joke that if you were a guy, like a bunch of guys that are 14, they'll, like, put something on, like, and be
Yeah, I remember
like
my brother
they'll,
getting
like,
caught like one
laugh at
time.
it or whatever, or if you're alone, like, it's an alone time
Yeah.
thing. But the actual images that you're seeing, for me, it never represented reality. Like, I always kind of knew that they were we're
It's a
talking
movie. It's
it's a
not
movie, it's first of all, it's like the best looking of the best looking of the best people in the world. Um,
with the best camera angles.
Best camera angles, they're never sweaty. Like, they're
No.
like the makeup on the women is always perfect.
Yep.
The guys are always tan and studly. Like
Very
there's no tummy.
handsome.
There's no tummy, you
It's
know what I
not
mean?
reality.
But there is now. And so this is what I'm saying. So now with OnlyFans, anybody, and I mean anybody, can be
Well, there's a girl in here who's an OnlyFans, I would say competitor to her, right?
mm,
Also from the UK,
mm,
that makes millions. And by looking at her, like she's cute, but like not what I would think of like this erotic star. You know what
right.
I mean? Like I feel like you have this look in your head. Like this girl, like she's pretty,
Yeah,
but
she's
like
pretty good looking.
she's
This
pretty
chick
good
is
looking.
pretty good looking.
She's pretty good looking, but
Yeah.
like when we go through and look at the rest of this, it's kind of like, oh, this girl, you know what I mean? But
Right.
I think people like that about OnlyFans that it is like real people and it's not like you're falling in love with a fantasy.
But
Like
you are
I mean, they
still.
are, but
Like,
they
they
are.
still are. You
Yeah,
know
they
what I
are,
mean?
but like they're not.
Like, these people
It's
don't love you.
attainable. Like they're like
Yeah.
they can interact.
Right.
Whereas just like watching it on, whatever those sites, are, whatever hub, like they can't just like click it and then it's someone they can't have any attachment to. This way they can
Right.
communicate with them.
Right.
Here's a couple extra bucks. Say my name.
Yeah,
Like,
but, like, even yeah, exactly, exactly, and, like but, like, now if you're scrolling on, Twitter as an
oh
example,
my god, I scrolled when you told me.
like
The clips?
yeah, right, but I'm saying it's everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
not the best of the best people, it's anyone. That's the
Yes.
thing that's insane to me. It's not like these are the hottest of the hot people, and, like,
No.
they have no other skill set, and the only thing that they're able to do is use their bodies to make an income because they're just like, that's who they are. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and that's fine, like, if you got it, like, flaunt it, I guess, or do whatever
I
you
have
wanna
someone I
do.
know who's a promineant,
Adult entertainment industry
yes, and
star.
I'd love to have her on.
You should, why
Very
not?
different, episode. I think it'd be really cool. Because I can't imagine she has a son. I can't imagine navigating being a mom
Yeah.
in that realm. Like, how is this girl gonna go from this to, like, having a family? Can she even get there?
Well, I think part of it too is like, y y the culture of today, of the West, because I don't wanna say American culture, because the UK and a lot of Europe probably falls into this category too. But everything, like, the American, like, instant gratification culture is kind of spreading places because of the internet. We're all, like, so close together now
Mhm.
online. And I kind of feel like everyone thinks, especially younger people, I want it now, right now, and this is what I want. And because of that, they don't even have the ability mentally. Some of them do, not all you guys. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, they don't even have the ability mentally to think a week into the future. What
No.
happens if I put this out and then my mom sees it? What happens if I put
Well,
it out and then everybody at school sees it, at college
yeah.
or whatever, and
I
that
also
spreads like
think
wildfire?
the self-respect aspect of people now,
Right.
and, I think when I was a kid, I was always afraid. My mom was a big business person,
I
like,
just talked to my dad
yeah,
about how when I was 18, he would still be like, "Let me get the phone number of the parents of the people you're going to hang out with." I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna even see the parents. They're picking me up and we're going out." Like, that's like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what are you
But
talking
I
about?
feel like when I was a kid, I was afraid, like, "Oh, I can't let this whatever I do, it can't reflect back to my mom or,
Yeah,
like, my family." You know what
right.
I mean? I don't think that same feeling of people, like, ruining their name,
Mm.
that's not a thing now. I don't think that people care about that anymore.
Well, because they're not old enough to care about it. And
No.
so, like, by the time you get to be
This girl's 23 years old. Like,
yeah. She's 23?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like, that makes me wanna cry.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my life,
Sure, so have I. We all have.
but that's just I think what bothers me, and we're gonna click through this and we'll talk about it and we'll see it, is that her mother
Mm.
and her family is involved. I wanna know, they don't answer it, and I'm like, "Yo, does mom make a cut? Like, does she make
Mm.
money off this?" Because I was listening to Candace Owens' review on interview with her, and it was Candace is very, blunt, and she's just you could tell she was pissed off through the whole thing. She's like, "This girl's gross."
Right,
And
which I don't even think is necessarily fair. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously something went wrong somewhere, and if the mom is
I think
involved
it's abusive. It's to a
well,
certain
if
degree.
the mom is involved, then it's like so we were just kinda talking right before we started recording about, like, our parents and our relationship with
Yeah.
our parents and stuff and wanting to impress them and, work hard so that we can like, I could win an Oscar someday, but for me, it's more like if my dad says, "Hey, that was a great movie." I don't care if it ever makes money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's way more important to me. And so if you're the mom and your daughter has an idea, like, of doing OnlyFans content to pay her way through college or whatever, why don't we get a job at Dunkin' Don like, I feel like the initial
Yeah.
reaction should be like, "Okay, I understand you wanna do something, and I respect you as an adult and an individual. Let's have an adult conversation and figure out if there's a better way for you to make
Well,
a
Lily's
living."
Lily's, and it's funny, her name is Lily too
Mm.
for me. 'Cause when I was a kid, um,
Oh my god, I didn't even think
a
about that.
yeah,
Go, go, go.
can I say the word?
The V word?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, I didn't know if I
That's a
could
no,
say that on
because
YouTube.
it's a body part, like
Okay.
yeah.
So when I was a kid, a vagina was called a lily. And many of you will say like, "Oh, don't call it a different thing, blah, blah, blah." No, that's what it was called when I grew up.
Well, and regardless of what you're supposed to or not supposed to do, this is what you went
That's what
through.
we grew up with, and a penis was a chooch,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not
which is kind of it's
yeah, it's not
really
what the
fucked up. But so that's just what I grew up knowing. So the fact that this girl's name is Lily is quite funny to me. But
right.
I think when it comes to her and what she said about her parents in the interview I watched earlier today was that her mom was like, if they disown me now,
Mm,
it's gonna cause more pain than if they just accept what I do and move on. It's one thing to be a sex worker. It's
yeah.
another thing to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna sleep with 100 guys in 24 hours."
Right. Right.
What?
Right. Let's take a look. Let's see what happens here.
In the world of YouTube content creation for 10 years, I've witnessed some extreme measures taken in order to achieve online fame, as well as taking some extreme measures of my own. But none quite as extreme as the stunt I came across which inspired this documentary. Lily Phillips, a 23-year-old OnlyFans star living in London who describes herself as an English was planning on
That's
hosting an
gross
event
to
where she
me.
would sleep with 100 of her
I
fans in a
hate that.
single
That
day.
How
nope,
did you get
canceled.
into? But
What
I
were you
think
going
the
to
thing is
school
that
for, Lily? That's what I wanna
on the
know.
platform, I kind of
I mean,
realized,
everything's so expensive
I
these
guess,
days. Like,
how
does it matter?
much
Like,
money you
if
can
Just
make
curious.
she could
and
be going to get
also
a
just
gender studies
how
degree, it's
much
still
to leave it.
400K.
I was just
You know,
like,
you
why am
still
I
need the
doing a
fuck.
whole degree?
Liberal arts.
Last
Oh my
week I was
god.
like, mm, 20.
Okay.
Okay,
So
let's chat about
okay.
that.
Right. I think.
Can I ask you real quick before we go into it? If a girl came to you and said, "I am a sex worker.
Yeah.
I just did 23 guys in one night for this crazy shoot." Would you be like, "Let's go home"?
So okay, so it's an interesting thing. I think, and I guarantee you're right. I wish Max was here because he's a 25-year-old guy that would
Who
that
calls it the puh?
right. He does.
He does.
He does.
He's just so funny.
He is funny. But I feel like a lot of guys today would view something like this. I'm sure there's a sexual aspect to it, don't get me wrong, but I think it
It's just to
borders
do it.
but it borders more on like a sideshow freak. Like when a girl says she's gonna do 100 guys in a day, I can't imagine like, I'm not fetish shaming anybody,
Yeah,
okay?
no.
You like feet? You like feet. Whatever. Good for you. Like, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have a preference toward things sexually. It is what it is. I'm not shaming people, but at the same time, you have to understand, like, I think it's probably a very slim margin of people who can't uh, achieve sexual satisfaction unless there's 100
People in the
people
room.
in the room. Like that
I don't
that
understand.
doesn't make any sense. So what I'm saying is the only reason to watch or engage with something like that
Yeah.
is to go, "Oh my god, she really did it." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like it's a freak show. It's what you would see at the
It's like a
circus.
circus.
You know, back when everybody was skinny, but then there would be like one person who was 750 pounds. Now you go to the circus and there's one person who's really skinny.
Yeah.
You know, but like back in the, you know what I mean? Like you used to go to the sideshow,
Yeah.
whatever. My dad would definitely talk about some stuff like this in the 60s, 70s. They'd have a traveling circus, and one of the attractions was the
Like deformed
the
person, the
two
tall
the
person, the fat
2-ton
person.
man.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like that. Like that's the woman who got railed by 100 men in a day.
Like,
Holy shit! Like
ooh.
that's the allure. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing where people are like, no way.
I guess in my mind too, the kind of men are very visual, so
It's true.
maybe that's what it is. I just don't know as if I was a guy, I'm not, but I'm just imagining
Mhm.
like getting
You're not a guy?
no, not a man.
Okay. I'm not a woman.
Yeah.
So
To make sure nowadays you have to like check in now with people.
yeah, go ahead.
How you can get ready to perform at such an event without feeling a little self-conscious if you have 100 other men, some probably prepping. I mean, you can't imagine like she's just
I think there's
it's every
first of
5
all,
minutes that she said that she gives them. So like they would have to be
there's
ready
clips online, and there's 10 of them in the room at once.
ready to go.
Some of them are ready. Some of them you can tell are a little
Shy?
little give me a couple minutes over here in the corner by myself for a
Yeah,
minute.
that's
you know?
what I'm saying.
But I
Like
think it's got to be easy, and I'm not saying it's easy to take it from 100 people, but like you don't have much prep to do as a woman.
no, I'm saying as a guy. Like
Oh,
how
yeah,
do they
sure.
how
Well, there's got
how
to
are
be
you-
a little think about somebody who would participate in something like
That's
this.
what I'm saying. Like you have to like
There's got to be a sense, a little bit of looking around you at the other guy. I think part of it is like when you're a guy, you don't want to be looked at as the weak one. So there's a little bit of a sense of like, well, I guess we're all here doing this is what it
It's so
is.
gross. And then
Like, it's just kind of fucking weird to me.
I don't know, from
Like,
a health perspective, because that's, like, really what scares me, like,
which is why I thought you'd want to talk about
you
it, you
can't
know?
tell me all of those guys got an STI check.
Well, okay, they supposedly
They
did.
did, but, like, you're telling me between when they got checked and when they saw this girl, if these are the type of people that they couldn't have done someone in the meantime?
So this is the thing. So like, and this is what I'm talking about with younger people today. There's a lack of critical thinking skills across
It
the board. There is a lack of like she asks them at one point. We'll see in the documentary where she says you need to get a test done,
Yeah.
you know, AIDS test or a
STI.
STI test prior to coming in. But they have to there's like a 2-week overlap in
Yeah.
between when they send the screenshot in and when the date is that she's gonna do this thing. W
What's to say they're not going out and doing someone in that
if
meantime and
they're a
catching something?
guy if they're a guy who's willing to participate in an activity with 99 other men, all sleeping with the same girl on this one day, what makes you think they're not having sexual intercourse with other women in the meantime, right? Or other men, or other they thems, or other furries, or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck else. And if they got a test that was clean on this day, and then there's a 2-week overlap, what if on the day they show up, there's no there's no.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by the critical thinking thing skills is like this is like a novelty, funny idea. Like, oh, what if I slept with 100 people in a day? And the actual execution of it is done so poorly.
No.
Like you're not it just doesn't like you're not thinking about and now
No.
you already have your like she's established as an OnlyFans model. She already has her body online. It's not like if she stopped now and then her kids saw something like there if somebody saw something at some point in their life, like there's years of content out there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's like,
It's already out there.
what are you gonna do? But look, where's the line? Like, where do you draw that line?
Oh, she doesn't draw a line. She just keeps, like,
Supposedly she does, but it's only it's only for right now. Like she just said, when she started, she was in her underwear and like it was like kind of just pictures and maybe like she did a little dance or
yeah.
something.
Well, Candace asked her straight up. She was
Oh, she
like,
was on Candace's show?
it was yeah, it was
didn't know.
I watched it. I can give it to you so you can put it in here.
Yeah, send me the link. Later.
She was like, they were on like a Zoom call, all of them together.
Ah, okay.
And they asked her if you were given $500,000 to not do this, would you take the money or would you still do it? And she goes, I don't do it for the money. I'm sorry. I just read a statistic on her the other day. $10 million in a month. Don't tell me you're not doing it for money.
Okay, so part of it I think is
That's bullshit.
not trying to psychoanalyze, but because I'm not certified or qualified to do that. But when I hear that, in immediately what I think is this is a character. Like
She's an actor.
right. When I do like the Nick Williams show or when I'm on the other stuff, like I'm over the top and my opinions are like in all actuality, like maybe there's like a baseline there of some truth, but then I take it to the nth degree because it's funnier. It's
Yeah.
crazy for me to be like completely against anything, especially in the industry that I talk about, like filmmaking, all that stuff. Like, okay, so don't watch the movie that you don't like. It, you
Yeah.
know? I have to take it to the degree of like, I hate this because of whatever, because
Yeah.
it's funny and I have an opinion and it draws in attention. But like like to say, but also maybe 500 is not the number. Like if it
Well, that's
was,
what I said.
maybe it's
and
2
it's
million.
funny because
If
when we
it's
were
500
texting,
not to do it, but she's gonna make 5 million if she does it.
yeah. So Nick and I were texting when I watched this last night because I was like, are you kidding me? This is crazy.
And then of course you said, imagine owning.
Imagine owning the Airbnb because
Yeah.
everything I do is like connected to a business, right? And I said, absolutely not.
Yeah,
and then
no
I
way in
was like,
hell.
you know what? Maybe for like a couple, like, I don't know,
8K cleaning fee.
8K cleaning fee.
I thought that
Like,
was so funny.
you know?
I knew there was a number.
Because-
Immediately when you said, no, I'm not doing this, I was like, wait for the money.
Yeah.
Where's the money to come in?
But like, I wouldn't clean it. Like, I mean, I'd pay
No,
someone to
you
do that.
hire a crew of
Yeah.
hazmat people to
Yeah.
come in.
But
and-
if when you see this documentary and you see the shit all over the floor and then like, here's Febreze, like that room has to smell disgusting.
the cameraman like almost vomits when they walk in.
Yeah,
afterward.
it was so gross. And then she's like, my eyes are burning because they're doing like shots on her face. I'm sorry. in this also explains that they're all wearing it also explains that they have to wear condoms, obviously, while they do this. She had a bag of 200 of them in case one breaks. You know, that was her little have to have the whole bag of them. But, like, and then they're doing these shots on her face. Does she not understand, like, the shit that's inside a condom is now, like, getting sprayed on your face too? So you have, like, that spermicide stuff
Mm.
plus them in your eyes, bodily fluid.
Oh, did you hear? So at the end of it,
Oh, the
toward the end of
HIV
it,
thing?
no, when she says, or
Ugh.
Josh Peters, the filmmaker guy, the host of this documentary, says, "Did you eat anything today? Like, have you eaten today?" And she said she had a little
Pastry.
pastry, and then she said she had a sandwich, and that the rest of whatever she consumed was cum. Like
So
the semen of 100 men.
Oh
Like,
my god. I wonder how many calories. No, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm
Like,
kidding.
and I don't want to come off as like some prude either. Like, I don't know, everybody has sex. Like, it is what it is. Like, you whatever.
I know,
And
face shots
I want to
thing,
say
nope.
too, like, if a husband and wife want to create an OnlyFans account and they're always just doing each other,
Yeah.
like, whatever. Like, whatever. They're gonna do it
I
anyway.
actually know
If you can make like 6 million a month,
I have a
hold
client.
on. If you and your spouse can make $6 million a month, you're not cheating on each other, you're just having sex with each other, and it's recorded, and you make it $6 million a month. I mean, nobody wants to see
You
me
wanna
do
hear
that, but I'm
something
just saying.
funny story? So Rob and I are painting the house, right?
Oh, here we go.
And I'm in like a head to toe paint suit,
Mm.
right? Because we're using the spray guns. And he looks at me and he goes, "You look pretty hot in that suit, babe." He's
The
like,
hazmat paint suit?
yeah, the hazmat paint suit, right? And mind you, it's freezing because
Okay.
like the house was cold because it's like
No,
all the
we just
windows are
opened
open.
it. Yeah,
Like we're
yeah.
just like
You're
trying to like
painting. Yeah.
painting and shit.
In
And
January.
he goes, "Yo, babe." No, he doesn't talk like this, but like it's my Rob voice.
It is your Rob voice.
He goes, "We should make it like an OnlyFans of this thing. Like no one would know it was us." And I go, "No."
Yeah, not
Like,
happening.
no. But I could see people like for that, like doing it like that. Okay, fine. Like hide your identity. But like, no. I have clients that do it. They're husband and wife.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
they make
I
good
know
money.
there are people that I've seen, like, the wife will sell pictures of her feet online and the husband takes the photos.
I would do that.
That's
I'm not against
that's a little bit different though, at least in my head, and maybe it's not
So what
different.
do? Just go to
Maybe
go to a
it's
nail
not.
salon and I just like tape them giving me a pedicure and then I sell it?
Like, I mean, I guess.
I mean, if
I
it's
don't
not your
know.
face, I mean,
Yeah, I don't really know, like, what the
I don't think like
I don't know. I don't know. I could never I don't think I could ever justify it. Maybe it's because I'm not an attractive 23-year-old woman, I don't know.
I don't know.
And that's fine, but, like, oh my god, like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. I wanna get the mouse so I can click through this because 'cause we're not gonna sit here and watch the whole thing. Okay.
Sorry.
So let's dive into a little bit. Let's skip forward a little bit just to get into it. She's doing this interview. Um, I think we can kind of hop. Do you want
Let's
to?
just like go on the random, like right when she's like about to do this.
Okay. Oh, this scene's kind of important. Hold on. Let's see.
The moneymaker is only
I started an OnlyFans.
$1 million in a day.
£42,000 in one night.
You have your little ones?
They can cry in a Ferrari.
I'll show you my first month, 30.
Okay. So I wanted to. We can take a look at this clip, but I wanted to get to the point where she starts talking about the money and monetary aspect of it because they say there's a famous saying about money. It's the root of
All evil.
all evil.
It is.
It's not like you hear that money is like the root of everything joyful and wonderful in the world. It's always a negative.
Always.
And like if you have to compromise your morals in order to do something for money, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. So now you have all the money in the world. You have all the money in the world. You can have the airplane, you want a special private jet, you want to have a yacht, you want to have a big house, you want to do whatever you want. You have all the money in the world.
But you have no one to like.
Do you have a family?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can have
Do you
all the money in the
have
world, but what are you gonna do with it?
love in your life? Do you have friends who actually care about you? Do you have friends that were friends with you when you had no money that are still friends with you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure you have a lot of new friends when you have all the money in the world.
Yeah. but no
Everybody
one's
wants to be your
real.
friend as long as you keep that yacht. You lose the yacht,
Yeah.
I'm out. That's not a friend.
No. And I think that
But people
this
don't think about that. They
I
think I want to make as much money as possible.
but like and this goes to say like why we did this show in the first place
Mm.
was people are in love with the aesthetic
Mhm.
of the big house, the
Of
money, the
everything.
yacht, all of the finer things in life.
Yeah.
But they don't understand the hard work that goes into it. Now, am I saying what she does is hard work? I don't think it's easy. Regardless of
There's no way putting yourself out there like that is easy.
regardless of if I agree with what she's doing or not,
Right.
it's definitely difficult work. I mean, physically, it's more mental, I would think, than anything. I mean,
Well, the thing that I don't like about it, and I think one of the biggest controversies about this documentary in general is, and just about Lily Phillips, is that the first 3/4 of the documentary, up until she has the day where all this happens, she's like not nervous. She's fine.
very calm.
This is what I do for money, and this is for the fans out there, so
It's a
I can do all this
business.
stuff. And she says that she doesn't really do it for the money. She's a very sexual person, and she gets a very big like serotonin release
Mhm.
from intimacy or being intimate with another person, and so she does it for that, but just because it's what she likes to do.
Yeah.
And then after she does it, she immediately almost breaks down in tears from the
Mhm.
stress and the stuff like that. And I think people are kind of misconstruing it. I think some people think it's because she slept with 100 guys in a day, and I think it may have something more to do with you never know who these people like. Oh, just the
Well, she
idea of
also
sleeping with so
cried
many
too at
people.
the end, saying that she felt that she couldn't like give them what they wanted, and she felt bad.
Well,
So she
because
was
it's actually an intimate act.
Yeah,
What you're
she was
doing.
like, I maybe I couldn't get them to the point that they needed to get to, whatever. Like
Right.
they couldn't, whatever. I didn't set the timer was one of the things that she said. Messed up the timer.
And
So I
people are
only
like, oh,
had,
I only get, yeah, they're supposed to get 5 minutes a person, and some people only got like 3 minutes, and then they would be like, you said 5 minutes on the thing.
yeah,
Now, by the way, this is where feminists are going to go a little crazy on me. One of the guys in the documentary says that he spent $250 on a plane ticket. He
mhm,
spent another $250 on the hotel to get there. All in, he spent around $800 just to go get 5 minutes with this chick.
yeah.
I'd be pissed too if I got 3.5 minutes
Oh,
after spending $1,000 to go do anything.
yeah.
To go do anything. Not saying I'd participate.
I agree. Like I think that there's a line. Like I mean, if you said 5 minutes and you do
Well,
5 minutes, that's
sure,
what you
but like you
advertise.
can't like if you this is the thing. There's no organization. There's
No,
like nothing. It's all like fly by the seat of your pants.
she
We're
shows
doing
up.
100
She
guys in a
shows up
day.
late.
She showed up an hour late.
Yeah, like
You know what I mean? Like there's like a lot of stuff where like, and they filmed this documentary over a course of like a month before she
yeah.
did the thing. Nowhere in there did you like plan out, maybe I need an extra day at the Airbnb. I'll sleep there. We'll
And
wake up, we'll
people were
clean it.
like canceling on
And I love that
her.
we're like just like that's where our minds go is like you weren't even organized enough to like have to sleep with 100 guys. Like what are you doing?
But she has an Excel
You're gonna do
spreadsheet,
it.
so I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good."
But she has an
Pulls
Excel
up.
spreadsheet that has like
Track her money.
tracks her money and like the stuff that she thinks is important to track because people always say, oh, you gotta keep your receipts and track your money and do all that stuff.
Yeah,
But like you have 100 randos that are your fans. This is not even other porn stars. It's not like these people are not professional
yeah.
adult
They're
film
not like
actors.
actually getting tested all the time. They're not like, I mean, I would, and I don't know. I've never been in the adult entertainment industry. I'm assuming that like most popular porn stars are consistently testing
You
themselves.
can't walk
It's
on
it's
to
a
talenttesting.com. Will show you exactly what tests you need to get if you're trying to be in the adult film
no,
industry.
you would know this.
No,
Not like no.
Shell?
I mean like
Shell?
because you're a filmmaker.
Right. No,
and-
I have friends who have gone into this industry in the more like Brazzers, the Hollywood of
Okay.
porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is you have to be tested once every 14 days, and it's a full slew of tests. The way that it works is the production company will pay you back for the test, which by the way is over $250 because it's every single test. So the actors are required to get tested within a 14-day period of the shoot, meaning most actors are getting tested weekly
Yeah.
because it's a job and they take their job extremely seriously. Because if you catch something, now that's like your whole life is over.
Over.
You're not working anymore. The one thing they ask you to do is stay clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's already a lot of pressure on the adult film industry because it's everybody preaches about how negative it is. There's not a lot of like pro,
No,
adult entertainment
no.
out there. Okay.
But
Everyone preaches about how negative it is and all this other stuff. So it's like they are very, very like extremely heavily scrutinized on everything they have to do
absolutely.
on a professional level. I'm saying
Oh,
the thing with OnlyFans is if you're flicking yourself around alone on OnlyFans, you don't have to get tested because you're alone.
exactly.
There's no producer there. There's no one there saying like, "Hey, we need this paperwork done." Like she has some
She
paperwork.
had sign-offs to say that they could just be on OnlyFans.
Right. I would love to get a copy of one of those to read through that so that I could just through an entire episode breaking down the document of how horrible it is.
Did you see the guy that was like shaking after? He was like drinking his drink and he was shaking. And
Like
he was like,
this is
I'm nervous. My dad's going to see this. Like, I'm sorry. That's not the first thing you thought about. Like, what if your family sees this?
that's where it goes from you're sitting at a bar with your friends and you joke, how funny would it be to do 100 chicks in a night? Then you drink. And then if you go to actually implement it, that's the psychotic part. That's the part where it's like not a
Yeah.
joke anymore. That's where it's like, well, what, like, dude, imagine if your dad's
Yeah.
no one anywhere along the line said like, hey, the perfect thing to ask yourself or to ask another person who brings up a crazy idea is, did you ever do anything that you regretted when you were 10 years old that you wish you didn't do?
Stole an eyeliner one time. I got dared to.
Would you be mad at your daughters if they did that and you found out about it now? Like, would you discipline them? I know they're very
No.
young, but if they were 10
No, I'd be
and
like, hey.
if they stole something from a place
Mm-hmm.
and they got caught and you
Mhm.
got the phone call from the whatever as the mom, would you be like, "Oh, it's whatever, it's only a
No,
thing"?
I'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell are you?
what are
My
you
mother
doing?
almost, I was a dare, and it was to take an eyeliner.
Right.
And I
How
did it.
would you feel
I ended up
if
paying for it, but
how would you feel then if your daughters found out after you've like taught them don't steal, don't do all this
that
stuff.
I did it.
Now your daughters find out that you stole things when you were younger. How do you feel as a parent?
You'd feel bad. You'd be like,
Okay.
it doesn't really validate you
So we've all made
as an
mistakes.
authoritative figure.
Right. So we've all made mistakes in our life.
Yeah.
But and it's very difficult to put yourself in the mindset of where you will be 10, 20, 30 years, 5 years from now. Like it's very difficult. You might have a vision or a goal of what you want,
Yeah.
but like we all know we could walk outside and get hit by a train, right?
Yeah.
Like so things happen and it's very difficult to envision the future, but it's very easy to recall the past. That's how why we are the way we are, because we learn from mistakes and we move forward. So like what I'm saying is it's very difficult to take someone who's making $1 million a month showing their body
Mhm.
online and say, well, what are you going to think when you're 50? They can't
They don't-
conceptualize
No,
that.
because they're only thinking of now.
But
And
you have to like ask yourself, did you ever do anything in the past that like you regret doing? Maybe you've done something in the past that you wouldn't say on a podcast because it's that embarrassing. Or it's like, it's something that you really don't want the general public to know. And that's okay. Like it's all right.
Yeah.
But like now think about what you're doing right now. Is what you're doing making yourself the best version of yourself that you can be right now in this moment that you'll be proud of tomorrow?
Exactly.
That's all. And,
I-
and honestly, if that means that sleeping with 100 guys is something you're going to be proud of, I guess, more power to you. I would not be proud of myself.
I think that for her, what makes me sad is that I don't think that she's going to have the prospects of like a husband or a family because she has this tie to it. Maybe she does. Maybe she meets this guy and she loves him and they have a beautiful family and whatever.
And you
But
know what?
let's
I
just
hope that
go-
happens. I
and
hope that
and I
happens
really
for her.
do. But let's go forward like 15, 20 years from now. Say she gets that
Hmm.
and everyone goes, your mom is Lily Phillips.
Well,
You
and
know
that's
what I
and
mean?
that's the thing.
So I think that's a kind of like a burden to put on a child. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, not to mention the fact that yes, you're wearing, protection, 200 or 100 guys.
do we know who the dad is?
Yeah. But also like what if something happens? What if one of them actually had a really bad STI? What
What-
if something bad, really bad happens that you can't take back? This is the thing, is a lot of the stuff, if you let's say that you put a picture of yourself naked online when you were younger, right? Or someone screenshotted a Snapchat
Yeah.
when we were like 19, something like that, right? If that happens, there are some legal ways to kind of get that stuff scrubbed, from the internet
Yeah.
or whatever. You get AIDS, you get HIV, you get
It's lifelong.
you don't get to say, I'm sorry, I really messed up. Hire an attorney and get that scrubbed off the internet.
But I
Like,
also think now with the way medicine is, I
mm,
think that people say, well, there's a pill for that. I'll be fine. I can live a healthy life.
well, that's just
But
mental.
this is
Yeah.
how they think because
Yeah,
they're
it's-
thinking for right now. I mean, in this documentary, I don't know exactly at what point she says it. It's kind of towards the end. When the host is like, hey, like, did you think you could catch anything from these guys like dumping on your face and like in your mouth?
And she's like, oh, is that how
And she's
that
like,
happens?
is that how that works?
Right,
I'm sorry. If this is your industry,
right.
you should know all of the risks and not play dumb about it. Do I think that she's serious in this? No. I think this is all an act. I think that she did this for her notoriety and I don't think she actually likes it. I don't, because I'm sorry, subjecting yourself to being violated 100 times in one night and being treated, because at that point, you're a piece of meat. No one gives a shit. You are a piece of meat at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, there's no way
You're a
she
sideshow
doesn't,
freak. That's what it is.
there's no way you don't have a point where you break and you say, what the hell am I doing? I can't believe I did that. And she says it's not for the weak. Like, does that make you strong? I don't know. Does that make you strong? I
Right.
just don't understand. And I think for me, the part that really bothers me is like, and I understand her family's involved in it. She has all this, she has staff.
Mm,
She has people that are helping her. Why is no one else teaching her, hey, listen, like you can catch these things.
yeah.
This is how this happens. There is no like
Yeah, well, that's
sense
the
of
thing. Like, the
urgency.
condoms don't really matter if they're gonna finish and you're gonna eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna consume it. Like,
What if they
you're not
put
gonna
it
get
in you before the
you're not
condom
gonna
comes?
get
You can get pregnant and get stuff from
no, but like you're not
pre-
gonna get
pre-con-
pregnant from eating the.
No.
But you're gonna you'd still catch an STD. You can still get
Yeah.
herpes.
Yeah.
Which is for life. And there's and this is the thing is like there are ways to manage it. There are ways to deal with it. There are pills to suppress flare ups. And is that how you want to live your life? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is okay. So just because there is a medication available, do I want to be taking medication for this for the rest of my life?
I don't think
Nobody
that-
asks these questions
No.
because it doesn't go away. That's the thing is like there are certain aspects of this that are very real. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't sleep with people. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't sleep with multiple people or whatever. Like, I don't care. Do
whatever
you.
makes you happy.
But
But,
like, don't you think you should go the extra mile to at least know who you're sleeping with?
Yeah.
Like have a little bit of like
and, I mean, listen, do I think that a lot of people can say, they went out to a bar, they got drunk, they had a one night stand. Okay. Like,
but nobody talks about it like I had a fucking one night stand.
yeah, no one's like,
Everybody's
oh my
like-
God, I did this guy last
Nobody's-
night.
what is it called? What is it called when you leave? Not that you do this all the time, but it's like a common phrase, right? What's it called when you leave with
The walk of shame.
messy hair and makeup the next day?
The walk of shame.
Why is it called the walk of shame and not the walk of victory?
Yeah.
Because it's
No.
fucking shameful.
Yeah.
Because you go, Jesus Christ, I just did one of the most intimate things that a human being can do with another human being. I don't even really know who
With
that
no
was.
respect of yourself.
None. And that's the thing. It's self-respect is what's gone.
I don't think many people have self-respect anymore. And
Yeah.
full disclosure, like, I mean, I think everyone does stupid shit when they're young,
Mm.
right? And I think that you need to recognize, the things that you did and learn from them and move on and become a better person. But I mean, she has time, but this is like filmed. You know what I mean?
It's
Like, it's a lot different than like maybe you and I making mistakes when we were younger. It's not all over the internet. You know what I
Right.
mean? We can live with it, and every once in a while
But
you
the
think about it.
reason that our mistakes are not all over the internet is because we were disciplined, or we learned,
Petrified of our parents.
and or we learned from those mistakes and said, "I'm so grateful that those were not filmed
Yeah.
and put on the internet." And like, I think it is. I think it's really scary. It's a really scary route to go down.
And
you
then
know?
at the end of this, just when you think, actually, before I get to that,
Yeah.
can we skip
Yes.
to the part where she shows him her closet?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's back a little bit further. Let me see. Yeah.
That right here.
Okay, yeah. So set it up.
So in this part of the documentary, she is showing the host all of her accessories that she uses for making her films. And I am appalled that anything like this goes in your body.
you want me to play it and you can tell me to pause?
Yeah.
You can usually get a bit better angles if like someone else is moving it.
And that's not like awkward, like having her film it or anything.
No,
Let it
no,
play for a
not.
second though.
This is like my toy drawer.
Okay.
I'll get some out for you. You'll be.
I do
shocked
like
as
that her
to what
closet's
little
organized by
racks.
color. Mine is
But
too.
that's just a cone.
A cone.
Everything. Go up either
Stop for a
hole.
second. Can we just talk about that?
What would you like to talk about?
What the hell is wrong with you?
So this is the line. This is the part where I say that you're being a prude. Okay.
That's being a prude?
No, but like everybody's.
That's like a
Hold on.
12-inch
I'm not
giant
saying that.
huge cone.
I'm not saying
the only
everybody.
thing I will say about it is it has like, what's it called? Like when the edge is larger than, what's it called?
The base. What do you mean?
Yeah, like the base of it's bigger, so like it won't get lost in you.
Hopefully, if that
Oh,
thing gets lost in you.
Yeah, then you have real problems. But no, when I did like when I was like in the ER, like working,
You removal was your job.
no, but there would be a lot of people that would come in with things that were stuck up their butt.
Yeah, because they don't have a larger base.
Yeah.
The whole thing gets lost in there.
Can you imagine? Like, and it's funny because I've seen people's faces where they're just like, "Yeah, there's something there," or they don't tell you, and you do the X-ray and you
go,
see it.
Oh, that's why you're here.
Yeah, and then they have to have a huge surgery. Like it's not like a little surgery; it's like a big surgery.
Yeah.
But I think it makes me laugh because Rob has this funny obsession with like stealing traffic cones.
Oh my
And
god.
so for me, when I was watching it, because we were in bed and he's laying next to me, and I'm like, I gotta watch this for Nick tomorrow. And he goes, a traffic cone. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, he goes,
I know.
I wouldn't even donate one to the cause. It's awful. And I was like, that is just. And she said, play what she says.
No, I can't.
These are more like my toys. Before I do a shoot, I'll wear like a plug all day. This is more for like girl.
So I think okay. Listen.
Before I do an anal shoot, I wear a plug all day.
Okay, but
Like-
I think we're verging into like there are some things that you do with skincare that I can't stand, like that I could never do. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that I have to do here that you just probably wouldn't want to do, technical aspects
Yeah.
of things, whatever. Like extractions that you do, I can't.
Yeah,
And you're like happy to do them.
yeah, I'm like, bring them to me.
Yeah, I'm good. You can do them all. You know what I mean?
There's not many things that gross me out. I'm not saying it grosses me out of like.
Well, no, but you're a prude. So what I'm saying
It's
is,
just I just
if
don't
you're
like
going to
talking
do-
about sex like that. Like it just.
well,
I don't
but this is her
know.
job.
Is that being prude, though?
It's her job. She has to. And like
Yeah.
and he's asking her, what do you do to, you know what I mean? Like what are the she
The
goes,
prep, yeah.
let me show you my drawer of toys. This is, you know what I mean? Like whatever.
Okay, usually doesn't involve a traffic cone. Okay.
So that what I don't disagree with you, but there are fucking people out there who want to see, and this is the sideshow freak thing. So she only has these objects
Because
and
people
things like that.
bought them and sent them to her.
Either that, or they said use something bigger, use something different. How, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. And so in order to make money, she has to subject herself to doing things that her fans want to see. I'm not saying again that that's right. I think there is a difference though between using toys of any kind
Yeah.
by yourself and sleeping with 100 people in a day
Yes.
that you don't know their names.
I don't think sex toys are the problem here.
No. Okay. No, I get that. And yes, it is. I mean, it's a fucking traffic cone. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a fucking traffic cone that she's putting inside of herself. Lily, what are you doing?
So awful. Like
It doesn't sound
I'm
very.
sorry, honey. Like I am sorry that you thought, and she does talk about this, is how she feels that OnlyFans has given her a lifestyle, and she doesn't refer it to money. She refers to it as like a open schedule. I own multiple businesses and have a schedule that's flexible,
Hmm.
and I don't shove traffic cones up my ass. So, I mean, you can do it too without making those decisions.
Mhm.
I feel
But she has such a release of serotonin.
Yeah. I also feel like the UK and sex is very different than here because, like,
In
there's
what
that
way?
show. Have you seen it where it's
Which
like
one?
the dating show and they just
Love on the
sh
Spectrum?
is that the one where they, like, show
No.
them naked?
No, that's called Naked Attraction.
Yeah, see, that's, like
I think
that's
it's
not
hilarious.
I've never seen it. My mom
It's
talks
also, like,
about
the
it.
worst way to date. Like, it's the worst way.
Can you
The
imagine the
whole like, our
first
whole
time you
upbringing was, like, it's on the inside that count like, it's what's on the inside that counts, and, like, this is how you should, treat people nicely, and, like, you can learn to have, like, a
but then
healthy,
you're judging
positive
them
sex life.
based on their body
In the
parts?
UK, it's like, "Let's just see what you got. What are you bringing to the table?"
But are they, like, prepared for this? Like, when
What do you
they
mean?
do that?
I don't think they care. I think they
Oh,
just
they're
look
just,
they
like,
just look
showing it
they look at it
chilling.
yeah, they just look at it differently. I don't think there's any so I don't have any issue with the human body, like the naked human body from, like, an art perspective or
Right,
whatever.
art-wise, I think that females are prettier than males.
Okay, well, we all have
I'm not
delusions.
gay or anything, but I think that like, female art is, like, the curvature is prettier than males, but that's just
That's
me.
yeah, it's your
That's me.
whatever. I think that, like, there's a difference between being nude and shoving a fucking traffic cone in your ass,
Yeah.
okay? Like, there's a difference between being a sexy naked model
Yeah.
and shoving a traffic cone in your ass. Those are 2 different things.
I just, like,
Like, those are 2 different fucking things.
yeah, no. You wanna do wear some, like oh, sorry, and wear some, like, little lacy cute thing and whatever, be a little seductive, maybe latex, whatever.
Whatever you're into.
Whatever, great, but, like, who said, "Hey, babe, wanna put that traffic cone up there?" Like, what is he, construction worker?
Right.
What's he, like, outside fixing, like,
I just keep looking at the vacuum cleaner in the corner of the room thinking, what do you do? Like, what do you how is this like I don't even understand, like, why that's attractive. Like, why is that
No.
attractive? There's no guy out there that's the size of that traffic cone.
No.
Like, that doesn't exist. So, like, you just like, what's the fetish? I didn't even get, like, what the
No. The only
do you know
I
what I
don't
mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there are
Yeah.
people out there who, like, fantasize about certain things, or maybe, like, there are, I know you're kind of prude when it comes to this stuff, but there are kits that people can buy
Yeah.
that you can make a clone
Of your wiener.
of yourself
Yeah.
to leave with your spouse if you have to go away on a business trip or you gotta
Oh,
do whatever,
yeah,
you
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
if
Totally understandable to me. Totally understandable
Yeah,
to
I
me.
can see that, I
Because
guess.
then it's
I mean,
at
I
the
don't want one, but sure.
right, sure, but I'm saying, like, like, I can understand the justification for
Yeah.
wanting to do something like that. Who says, "Listen, I got a business trip. Tonight when I'm in the hotel, I'm gonna call you, and you better be using that traffic cone." What the fuck is that? Like, what is that?
I don't know.
Like, who gets off on that? Why is that a thing?
But I
You
bet you
can't
the
say it's a
guys
primal you
that
can't say that fetish is a primal thing because they didn't have
also
traffic cones when we were cavemen, okay?
the other thing that is part of this too is out of these 100 men,
Mm.
they can't be the most attractive, good-looking guys.
Well, it would cost her
Most
millions of dollars to get
most
them.
of them are these and she says it,
They're her fans.
are her fans that are just these overweight, kinda
Well,
just like
settle
no, but,
down.
like no, like, they're not like
Just kidding.
they
Go
they
ahead.
don't look like friggin' Hercules, like,
Right.
they're just every day, this guy is like a plumber with a gut, like, just doing it. Like, it's not like it's not a production, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not a
Well, so that's the
thing.
thing that is
How are you
and
into it? How
and
is she into it? That's my thing, like, there has to be a level of, like, some sort of something, right? Or do you just lose that attraction
But this
part?
is why, and I hate to use the terminology because I don't wanna be, like, rude about it, but, like, that's my whole point about the sideshow freak thing. It's like, it's not no one is watching any of these videos and thinking not I don't wanna say any of these videos, like, I'm sure she does very well-produced stuff too, whatever, I don't know, but,
On
like
her little tripod camera.
right, but no one is watching these videos of her getting railed by 100 men and really, like, sensually like, there's nothing produced about it. It's just
Yeah.
100 regular dudes,
Doing this girl.
like she's a fleshlight, like, she's just like a toy, like, she's nothing. She's not a person to them.
That's sad. Can you imagine, like,
Yeah,
being her, though, and, like, at the end of all of this,
yeah.
she's by herself, and she's thinking about these 100 men, and she even says in it, I don't really remember any
She
of
remembers like
them.
10 or 12 of them.
Yeah. That's sad. Like,
But that doesn't eliminate the 88 other men that were
yeah,
in
no.
you. You know what I'm saying? Like that still 88 of them.
Some of them had girlfriends.
Well, that's not surprising. Men
Some
are
of them
men,
had
men are
some of them
pigs.
had like
Men
weren't
are
married.
pigs.
I was reading like this thing on X about it.
Yeah, I don't think I think like so at the end of this she says that she's in February she's going to try and do 1,000 men. 1,000 men.
So the world record is held by an American girl.
Oh, you looked this up?
I did. It was also on Candace's thing too, so I looked up Candace's stuff after. Who was an American girl living in Poland, and they had this like freak week thing, and she did 900 and I think it was 95 men. And she wants, or 85 men, whatever it was. It was 9 or 800 something
What are
men.
the parameters, by the way? What are the parameters? Like who has
When
who
does
has 30 seconds to finish? Like are all of them finishing? Is it
no,
like a
there's no way.
is
I
it like
mean,
a like so what do you consider sex? Is it just penetration? Like
So-
is it just like okay,
I
so they're
think so
in and out, in and out, in
so
and out.
she
In a
said
line?
in this that some guys were really nervous and didn't like their performance, so they came back and redid the scene. So she didn't just have 100.
In this one?
Yes, she didn't just have 100 guys like one time. She had some of them a few times that wanted to come back that were not impressed with how they performed.
And she allowed that to well, first of all, that's also not in one day. So I don't understand that.
So she filmed from 9 a.m.,
Mhm.
I believe it was,
Yeah.
until like 10 p.m.
Oh my god, and all she did was have sex.
and had a couple things for a pastry and shower break. First of all, on a medical standpoint, I don't know how that is safe on your body as a female. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
she said that she wasn't sore. I just don't believe it. Like, I mean, I just don't buy that.
Well, okay, wait a minute. So
You can have all the lube in the world, but
right,
like,
right. I get that. But you have to admit too, like if you go to the gym with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah.
And you tried to do the same workout that he does, the next day you'd be in the hospital,
Yes,
and he would be eating 12
Okay,
dozen eggs.
that's fine.
So
but
I'm just saying,
there's
like
a
she
difference.
does,
But
she's
there's-
shoving traffic cones in her ass, Lex.
Well, I understand that, but she's never done 100 men in 24 hours.
No, I
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, that's
yeah.
a lot of people. That's a lot of
Well, it's a lot of different. Like everybody's
Sizes,
different. Everybody's different.
shapes.
So it's like some are, you know what I mean? Like that's.
I'm very into
don't
like
know, man.
smells. Like,
Can we skip to the point after
Yeah.
the aftermath?
yeah.
Oh my god.
And I mean into like, as in I get grossed out by smells.
To
It's
have
like a
with
brothel.
Lily in one
Of
day,
course.
was that like something that
I
obviously
want to get to the
Feel
thing
too
after.
intense.
Let's let it play for a second.
More, checking in on Lily felt intense.
yeah.
Okay, so this is right after
The
like,
last guy.
the last guy. She's like showered and cleaned up as best she can, and this is how the scene plays out.
Lily offered to show me the aftermath of their stunt.
What does it smell like?
Like brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Oh.
It stinks. What does it smell like? Semen. That's what the room smells. The whole room. You walk in, it smells like semen.
Semen smells gross.
It's disgusting.
Holy.
I guess it. Dawn.
When was the last
Nope,
time you
can't
ate?
imagine that.
I had I think I had a yam yam. Yam yam, is that what they're called? A little pastry. And then I think I had a sandwich, and that was kind of, and then the rest come. It's not for the weak, girls. If I'm honest, it was hard.
That's when it
I don't
settles
know if
in
I'd
right there.
recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like, it's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like,
It's kind of
It's
like
kind of like being like prostitute.
Tell me the difference
Hmm,
between a prostitute and what you're doing.
right.
I don't see the difference. What's the difference between a prostitute and an OnlyFans chick? Or an adult? Like, I don't see the difference. You're still doing intimate acts for money. I don't. There has
don't-
to
I
be a
don't know what to
point
say,
where
yeah.
like that hits you and you're like,
I think it's great. I can't wait for her to do 1,000. I think she should shoot for 2,000.
I feel bad that that's what you wanna win the Guinness Book of World Records. Lily Phillips in the books does 1,000 men. That's what you wanna be known for in your life. That's what you're gonna be known for. Who else is gonna be so psychotic to be like, "Oh, let's do 1,001." Like, just to beat her. Like, what? That's crazy to me.
It's insane. I know. I don't know. I think we just need a little bit of a culture shift in the world. I think we need to like take it down a notch.
I think this all
You
goes
know,
towards everything that's going on right now. I think that
this is where we're at. This is where we're
this
at.
is where, like,
This is where we're at.
this is so
Like,
sad.
I know, and like this is the thing, right? So when we were like kids, and it's funny. So I just I digitized those videotapes for another client of ours, and part of it they had like the news on,
Yeah.
and the new like everybody's like smiling. It's like 1995. Everybody's like smiling, like nothing crazy, whatever. And now it's like this is mainstream.
This is what you're seeing. Hey, I
we're
slept with
reviewing
1,000 men.
we're reviewing a documentary about a woman who sleeps with 100 guys in a
Yeah.
day. What are we doing? Not us, but I'm saying like this is our life now. This is the kind of incendiary shit we have to review.
This is the top. And you know, it's funny when Rob and I were talking about this, he's like,
Mm.
"You're going to review that? You're such a sellout. Like, you're going to do that for views." And it's not for that. It's the fact that, like,
Well, I mean, it's kind of for that,
yeah,
but like,
but she-
so what? That's our job.
it is.
This is a
but
topical thing that everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah.
Of course, if we didn't talk about it, we
It'd
would
be
be.
an injustice to all of us. We need to
Well,
talk
no,
about.
but like you're a female business owner.
Yeah.
Who is a very independent person who owns multiple businesses. One of them deals a lot with female health and wellness and stuff like that. Why would you not talk about something like this?
I think
if anybody
that-
should have an opinion on it, it's you.
I think that sex now it's not viewed as what it used to be. I think that people had sex before,
to have
and
babies.
it was like to
that's,
have babies.
That's why they had sex.
And I don't think, and it was always like generally married people that would talk about, like, that would be like,
Sure.
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you in the 50s, a guy would like take you out to dinner
Yeah.
and take you to the movies.
You would save yourself until
drop
and I'm
you
not
off
saying
at 8 o'clock sharp in
Full-
the hopes that maybe one day he'd marry you so that he could get the pug.
Full disclosure, like Rob and I aren't married.
No, I get it.
Technically.
Well,
So
no,
like,
listen.
you know, culture's a little different.
All
but
of this stuff shifted with the invention of birth control and the
Absolutely.
liberation of female sexuality. That's what it is. That's where it started.
yeah. I think that birth control is a pharmaceutical cash cow.
Of course it is.
And
But they don't teach you. Like she doesn't understand that she can get an STD from consuming orally
or in her eye.
Right. As an example, semen. Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand that. She thinks if I put a condom on, then I won't get pregnant. And if they have the condom on, they're not going to give me an STI. Maybe.
I think the
But
conversation.
like, what the fuck?
I don't remember. Like, do you remember sex ed in high school?
Yeah, it was. This is a penis. This is a vagina. These are boobs. Out. That
Yeah,
was
it wasn't. And I think that you should definitely be having these conversations with your children. And yes, they're awkward, but like, you're their parent, not their friend. So have these conversations with your children. I don't understand why that's such a hard topic.
This is why I wanted
Truthfully,
you to talk about this.
I don't remember my mom giving me that whole birds and the bees conversation. You can get this from this. I think I learned a lot from just like reading. That was just me, or just being in the healthcare industry. It wasn't necessarily something I had a conversation with my mother about, which I am going to 1000% have the conversation with my daughters about.
Mhm.
It's a little bit different, but
I just don't understand. Like, I don't want to say politically. Like, when I say politically, I don't mean like Republican versus Democrat politically. I just mean like in like the cultural zeitgeist, if you will. Like, I don't understand why female sexual liberation and birth control equates to sleep with as many people as you can. And that's like what happened.
but then again, if a guy does it,
well, no.
he's
I
like, you
understand
know
that
what I
there's.
mean?
I understand
It's
there's
very
a double
different with-
standard, but I don't even really think that there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there still is, but at least in my mindset, like I don't view that as like attractive either. I feel like, and maybe because I'm getting older, that's what
Yeah.
it is. So like in your 30s, I'm 30, about to be 31 in a few months. I can't believe it, but
no, our birthdays are coming up.
right, it's been like we've done put a fuckload of work in.
I
okay?
know,
We've
we
been going
really
hard.
have.
It's been pretty cool. But anyway, I was gonna say like I don't view having hundreds of sexual partners as like when you're 19 everybody's like, "What's your body count? How many people you
I
got?"
never understood that. And I remember
Because
going
you're
on
not a guy.
I remember
That's
going
why.
on a date with this guy in New York.
Yeah.
And we went to this beautiful restaurant. It was like the
Yeah.
nicest. He picked me up in this gorgeous car, like
Mm.
whatever. And he asked me at dinner, "What's your body count?" Instantly picked up my stuff and walked out. Because I was like, first of all, that's gross. Like, why would you even talk about that? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't sleep with a lot of people, but
Well,
why
I guess
is
it's
that
like,
your
was this the
business?
first date type deal, or?
No. We had gone out multiple times. And he was like, "I think
Okay.
you're great." Like, da da da. It was fine.
Do you think it's inappropriate to ask people how many people they've slept with? What if you were on a date with this chick
Okay,
and you
well,
didn't have a
I mean,
computer?
that's excessive, but I don't think that many people are like, I don't think that
A lot of
people
people
have
with
that many high body count. Maybe
nowadays.
now it's different.
That's what I'm saying.
Now it's different. Now I see it a lot downstairs because I do both ultrasound. I do, laser hair removal, so I do.
And I
Meetings all
want
the
to.
time.
I want to go back really quick because I don't want to blame everything on like women's like sexual liberation because it wasn't. I think it's really the internet. That's
No,
what,
it's the
that's
internet,
what
but I think
launched everything.
that's a part of it too. Is this whole birth control?
Well, if
you don't have to
if
get
the
pregnant.
if the big
And then
talk
it's like,
about
if you
sex,
get pregnant, it's okay. You can have an abortion. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's a whole system. It's not necessarily one thing or the other. It's the fact that people aren't being taught respect on any level isn't being taught now.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is parenting. That's where it starts.
I find that's kind of the answer for a lot of shit.
It is, but if
for
you,
like
but
a
you
lot of
really
stuff,
think
it's like,
about
look,
it,
we're the parents.
We're exactly, but
Yeah.
why are parents now trying to be friends with their children? This mom is getting a cut of this money. Absolutely. There's no way her daughter's making millions and she's not making money doing
You know
the
what we
Bucks
used to? You know what we grew up with? Well, what I grew up with because I used to live out in L.A. was these helicopter stage moms, we'd call them. So you're like doing a little like play in 5th grade, and some of the moms of the people that had like lower parts or whatever, they were like hovering. Make sure you learn your line. Make sure you
Yeah.
Like the mom, you know what I mean? Like people that live vicariously through their children.
Yeah.
Like the dad that's like, son, if you don't hit the T-ball the right way, no dinner tonight. Like that kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
That's
what's happening now.
Except with fucking OnlyFans of all things.
Yeah.
Like it's like, wait, what? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know if it's a lack of self-respect or if it's a lack of being taught. Like, I don't think that they even respect their family, themselves, the parents. I think it's a combined thing. Are we going to change it? I don't think it's going to change.
Well, no,
I think it's only going to get worse.
It's reliant on people like you to teach your daughters
the right thing.
The right thing. And that doesn't mean, by the way, going back to the 50s housewife where the wife has no say and she's owned by the husband. Like,
honestly, I would love that.
I hear you,
no,
but
I don't
then,
mean no,
but then
I
you wouldn't have
like,
you wouldn't have your businesses
no,
or anything
I know,
else.
But I mean, I think that,
and I get it.
simpler. I think that people now are craving a simpler life.
Yeah, because of the anxiety and the pressures and everything that you see, the fear of missing out, all the bullshit you see online, all of that stuff. Like it's so incessant and it's so and the apps are designed to keep you scrolling. That's why this endless scroll app is like why you just all of a sudden,
dating now is literally left or right swipe.
I just talked about this with my dad. Like you can't go out. If you go out and approach somebody at a bar, you're a freak. You're a creep. Why would you talk to me like that? If that person had never approached you at the bar but then hit you up on an app,
would you have said hi?
You would have said, "Hey, what's up?" Like, you know, like there's like so much social anxiety. There's so much like everything revolves around views and doing something for views.
The other day,
keep your fucking clothes on, for Christ's sake.
The other day, I was. Most of you guys know I have like a small farm. I was in like, what's it called? Overalls. I had my Carhartt jacket on, hat on.
Very farm handy.
Very.
Really playing the part,
really
acting
just
as if.
going. So I was changing all the chicken coops out, and I ran out of shaving. So I was like, you know what? I'll go to Tractor Supply. It's the closest, whatever. So I go there and I'm getting the shavings and I'm loading.
Do you wear a straw hat too, or
no? I had my Carhartt beanie on.
Just asking questions.
And so, so I put the stuff in my car and I go to wheel it outside, and this guy comes up to me.
Walk around like this. Here's Lexus.
And he goes,
"Hey,
no,
I'm here to get some shavings."
And he goes, ma'am, do you want some help? And I was like,
What,
You
putting
know-
the stuff in the car?
Yeah,
The big bags of shit.
Yeah, I was getting them from the shelf first and then
Oh,
putting them
okay,
outside.
okay, right, yeah.
And he goes, "Do you need some help?" And thought nothing of it. I go, "You know what? I'm good. No, it's fine." He goes, "No. Like, let me help you."
That's nice.
So he helps me put in the car. I think nothing of it because I'm just like, "Oh, he's helping me put in the car. He's being
That's
a nice
thing
guy."
to do.
He goes, "I really like your hat." And I said, "Oh, I got it here because I was at Tractor Supply."
Oh, it's a Tractor Supply baby.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And he goes, "You know, I really like the fact to see, girls working on their farm." And I go, "Yeah, I have chickens," like me not thinking. He goes, at the end of the whole conversation, which was merely just about like, how many ducks do you have? How many chickens do you have? And I'm entertaining it, thinking like, oh, maybe he has chickens too.
Did he say, like, do you want to sleep with 100 guys in a day or
No,
something?
he
or what?
goes, he goes, "I'd love to take you to dinner." And
That's
I
really
go,
sweet.
I
I mean,
go-
obviously you're with Rob. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
advocating for,
no,
we're not, yeah,
but
yeah.
it was the first time in a long time that
Yeah.
someone was just like nice and was like, "Hey, like, would you want to get dinner?" And it wasn't, "Do you want to get drinks?" Because that is, I
Yes.
don't drink, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's like, "I'd love to get dinner with you," and I said, "I appreciate that, but I am in a loving relationship with 2 kids, so I will pass."
yeah,
but
which
I
is the
think-
appropriate response.
I go, "But I thought that was very nice of you, and thank you so much for helping me." And it was like a cute little encounter.
And you met a nice human.
It was a nice human. I've seen him now.
My mother would say,
twice.
she would say it was a pleasant exchange. That's
Yeah.
what she would say. Pleasant exchange.
And-
That's my mother.
And
for
I've
you.
seen him now a couple times
Yep.
at Tractor Supply because everyone goes there.
And are you freaked out when you go
No.
in there now?
No, and you
Is
know
he
what?
a creep
Every
to you?
single the other day I was there with Olivia and Sophia, and he saw
Mm-hmm.
me and he said, "Hi." Like, he didn't know my name. He's like, "Hi. Oh, it's good to see you." And I go, "Oh, good to see you too, hon." And I'm going on my
now
merry
you're
way.
going
and
with your kids.
no,
Did he follow you around the store?
no,
Did he like try and take a picture under your skirt or anything?
no. I don't think so.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
He
just
wasn't
because
a
someone
creep.
tries to be nice doesn't make you a creep, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Have
You
I had
know?
the opposite? Like, the
Of
gas station.
course,
It's always
there's
the gas
so,
station.
yeah,
guy.
because you're very vulnerable. You gotta put the thing back, and then you gotta get the
Yeah,
car.
I'm like trying to like pump it real quick, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That's why you need a taser, or
Yeah.
protect
Well,
yourself.
in New Hampshire, we can carry.
I
so.
know. Very protected. I'm not censoring you. I'm censoring with YouTube. That I'm like, okay, we can't go into
YouTube can't. You
the
can't.
pew pews.
You can't talk about them.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Yeah. They get really weird with stuff, so you gotta, But
It's wild.
you
Can we also talk?
you can make a documentary about
Speaking
sleeping
of
with 100
that,
guys in a day, no
safety though,
problem.
can we
Yeah.
just talk about safety for a second?
Sure.
She had 100 men that she has no idea.
And I'm not
who
trying to be
they
sexist.
are.
I'm not trying to be sexist, but the only other people in the room with her, if the documentary people were not there, the only other people that are
Is
helping
her and this guy
No. It's she had a security guard. I think there was
at the door?
Yeah, okay.
That was it.
A door guy. And then you have 2 women who are there. She has like a production assistant,
Yep.
and she has like another assistant who's going around getting her food and stuff like that. 2 women. And her.
And
There's
100 men. I'm
100 men.
sorry.
That's the thing. Like, it's not about sexist
It's
thing.
statistics here.
Right. It's
Like,
what if they all were like, hey, let's do all of them? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If 100 men wanted to do me, I'd be like, I'm fucked. Literally. Get the traffic cone. What are we doing? Like, that would be me.
yeah.
100 men? You're screwed.
Done.
1 person versus 100 men? You're screwed.
What's to say
Literally.
one of them isn't some crazy fan?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
just like,
Who's like, why don't you
I'm
love
into
me?
what if they're into like choking?
Well,
The girl passes out on the floor.
right. And then you go into this room
You're
and
like
you're doing
slapping
stuff
her in
by
the face,
yourself?
waking her up. Like, what
Like,
do you
what happened? And I'm sure maybe they had protocols in place that one of the assistants would check on her
Doubt
or
it.
something. But like, it just.
what do you judge it by this?
But like,
Like-
oh my god! But like, based on the way it's presented, I guess in the documentary, like, there's really not a lot of boxes that get checked here. They're like fake checked. Like, oh, you get an STD test, yeah, but it was 3 weeks ago. Like, there's always like a but. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh yeah,
She's lucky.
I told them not to do it. They can do it on my face, but not in my eye. But her eyes are bloodshot red from 100 men.
But she's lucky that none of them. And I'm not saying.
God.
Truthfully, I can't imagine the guys that showed up there are these peachy keen, nice, great, good people. I'm sorry, maybe some,
maybe a couple of them.
maybe some, but most of them are probably creeps. Okay, they probably have some weird fetish, considering they're flying and spending money to not only view this girl online, but now go see her and do it.
Yeah,
You're
what is
telling me
that?
out of 100 men, I'm sorry, I could name 10 that I know that I'd be like, this guy could kill you. Like, like, what if, what happens? And they did say, oh, they didn't disclose the location of the Airbnb until that morning. What would that even matter? They knew it was going to be an Airbnb. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to be
in London.
in London. let's also talk about the fact that it's in a prominent suburb. Who's above you?
Well, it's a city.
Is
It's a
there
city.
kids? Is there kids upstairs?
Yeah. Who's
Who's
below you?
around?
Yeah.
They're listening to this all day. Like, you're not being quiet. Sorry. It's a
Yeah.
production. Like, there's theatrics here. We're yelling, we're screaming, we're doing whatever they're into.
Yeah.
Are we considering anything else? What if someone thinks you're getting hurt? The police weren't called. Everyone. And what also kills me is the people he interviewed walking the street. And the old woman was like, oh, she's going to do 100 men.
All in one day.
All in one day. Good for her.
Yeah.
Like, what?
What is the culture?
If that was my yaya, she'd be like,
She needs God.
she'd be like, we're going to church.
Yeah.
Like,
and
you're
which
done.
isn't like, and I'm not trying to say like that's the answer, but like it's just, it should be horrifying. It should be like, this is inconceivable. Like this should be like a character in a book that like they make a movie about, or like it's just the fact that that this is where we're at is really
It's sad. It's
sad.
disgusting, actually.
You know what's sad or sadder than that is that my initial reaction to you saying that's, and I'm not being a dick, hear me out. My initial reaction to you saying that's disgusting is actually like, wow, Lex, that's a little judgmental of you. How fucked up are we that I am sitting here saying that isn't, that I'm somewhat offended,
Sympathizing with
right?
her.
And sympathizing with her. Oh, that is fucking gross. That's fucking gross,
feel
man.
like
It's gross.
nowadays-
It's gross.
Nowadays, people they don't care.
I know.
They feel liberated. They feel like this sense of like.
And she's crying at the end. She's
Yeah.
crying after it. All
I bet you
breaks
she's
down.
crying now.
Yeah.
I bet you she's crying now. And I don't buy like the whole 1 month and she kept herself busy. I don't think she kept herself busy, happy, calm, cool, collected because she wanted to. I think that she needed to, because she needed to feel like it was an everyday thing and it was not a big deal. Because if the real reality of it set in, that what she was going to do and the potential ramifications that she doesn't even know about yet, because she could have an STI right now.
Yeah, she doesn't know. Well,
It's incubation.
She's going to do 1,000 men
In
in
a month.
February.
You know? So,
With condoms, though.
yeah.
She buy 2,000 condoms in case one breaks.
Like, what? I just don't.
Do you
I
remember? So now
don't-
that you're 30, right? We're in a whole other decade of life, a new chapter, if you will.
I feel like my life before this was like not. You ever look back and you're like, what?
I'm just saying, and I'm not admitting to anything, and I'm not incriminating myself. There is shit that I did when I was 23 that I would be like, I would actively tell my cousin who's 19 when he turns 23 or whatever, if he came up with these ideas and asked me for advice, I would say, no, don't do that.
Yeah. 100%.
Don't do that. And I didn't sleep with 100 people when I in a
No.
day when I was 23.
Full disclosure, I was 23
Mm.
and was working in New Jersey and doing, I was doing sales and stuff.
Were you doing 100 people in a day?
Met this guy. Nope. He goes, I think that you're really pretty. And I said, thanks. Saw him every single morning at a coffee shop. Same place I'd go every morning.
Was he your age or was
No,
he?
he's older.
Okay.
He was like I was 23. Maybe he was like 38.
Yeah.
Around there. He goes, I need arm candy. I don't want to sleep with you. I
Mhm.
just want to pay you to go out to dinner with me at this event. And I did it.
Okay.
Saw him but time out.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, saw him every day. Like, knew who he was.
It's a little sketchy, unsafe kind of, but
Looking back at it now, I'm like, what the hell was I doing? Like, am I
Right.
crazy?
but
And
when you're 23 in the morning, I can handle myself. I don't give a fuck.
23, I knew where I was going. The bar, I had an escape
I'm getting
plan
money
in
to
my
go to dinner.
head.
Let's do it.
Yeah, paid
In
me
your head, you got an escape plan.
$1,500. I sat there. I listened to the conversation. I interjected a little bit. He goes, oh, you did great. I just didn't want to go to this dinner alone. And I said, okay. And that was it. Hit me up 6 months
Thank
later
God.
for the
Thank
same
God.
thing.
Thank God that was it.
Yeah, that was it. But like looking back now, what were you thinking, Alexis?
Well, you were thinking you'd get some money and a free dinner out of it.
Yeah, I went to this wicked nice steakhouse. It was great. I mean, I could have paid for it for myself. Like I mean,
No, you're making money. That's not
I
the
had
point.
good
The
money.
point of
I
it's
drove
not
a
the
brand
money.
new Beamer. It was
It's
great.
a
I
fun
paid for
thing to
myself, but
do,
it was just,
whatever.
I was single. I was like, whatever. Like I had just broke it up with this guy who was a total meathead. So I was like, let's do it. Whatever. Fun. But now,
Like if Olivia,
I'd
one of your kids,
murder. In a room forever. Grounded.
and that was just dinner.
Yeah, just dinner.
Now imagine if one of your kids said, "I think I'm gonna start an OnlyFans."
No. I
No.
think that Olivia and Sophia
Do you know what?
and
No, and I know they would. It's just not the type of people that they are. Like you can tell their personalities.
yeah,
But,
and
like
they're 3 and 2, but like
no, but you can tell. Like Sophia would probably punch somebody in the face if they ever said you should.
yeah,
You know, she'd be like, "What did you
you
say
look
to
at
me?"
her the wrong way, and she's like,
Sophia's
right hook
more of a
or
mafia
uppercut.
boss than like some people that I know. Like it's a little
Olivia
scary.
will look at you and she'll be like, no, no, and then she'll just go away.
Yeah, she would.
Close the
She
door.
would.
She's like, yeah, I'm done with you. I'm
Yeah.
all set.
No, but I think
Sophia will cut you open.
I was gonna say, like, I think that if Fee was still Fee, but she got raised by the wrong people, she would be an axe murderer.
100%.
Like, and like feel no. She'd be like,
No remorse.
right? Do you want me to cut the head off too, or like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Bury in the backyard.
or the front
Cement
yard?
mixer.
There's a lot
Pigs. Which one?
a lot of bodies in the back. Should we start in the front, or
Yeah.
that's Fee.
Sophia's
That's
very,
Fee.
she's,
Or she can be like this amazing.
but she's super sweet.
No, she's
And
very
she's not
sweet, but
violent.
she's
I don't
want to
make this come off as that she's this violent
she's
little
not,
girl. She's not.
She's not violent at all. I'm
She's
saying that
just
she's
tough.
very tough, and she will absolutely be the.
But in the wrong hands,
Oh,
with
if
the
with the
wrong
wrong direction.
direction.
Yeah.
that could go. But imagine being this girl's mom.
Oh, I want to smack this woman's mom.
Like-
and that's the thing is, I'm not as like
I'm not as mad as her mom as I am her dad.
yeah. Oh, I'm grossed.
Like, come on.
I'm grossed out by the act of what she did, but I'm like horrified, and like the anger comes from where your parent. What are you? You're 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? How could you be so? There's no shame. That's what it is, Lex.
I think that what pisses me off about her parents the most is that I understand they're accepting of what she's doing. I understand that. But at what point is it abusive? Because they're allowing her to do it. They're definitely making money on it.
Even if
You're
you're not the
monetizing
abuser.
the abuse of your daughter. I'm sorry, but that's weird to me.
Okay, so hold on. So here's a question for you. If your child was older and in a relationship where you found out that they were being abused, not this. I'm saying if you found out that they were being hit or something like that, man or woman, doesn't matter. I'm saying if your child was being abused and you found out about it, how would you react as a parent?
I'd get them out of the situation first.
Now, I'm not saying, I'm not like, let's use realistic answers here, because I'm not saying like, oh, I'd go kill him. Like,
No.
you're not gonna do some
Realistic.
shit.
I'd get them out of the
Get
situation.
them out, bring them home, get them
Bring
out of
them
the
home,
situation.
or I'd take them away.
Now,
I'd say, hey, listen, let's go on a trip.
as I'm sure you are aware, right? The statistics say that people that are in abusive relationships, the victim is usually mentally, like brainwashed or mind controlled into like going back and feeling like they deserve the abuse and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Well, she is brainwashed. She said she
Well, no,
feels
no,
bad for the
but this is
people
my
that
point.
she didn't give enough time to.
So at what point does it become abuse? Now, and the problem is the age thing. So she's 23, she's not 12. So the parents can't tell her what to do. But they should have been guiding her down a path her entire life.
Yeah, if
that
you
would
want to
have
be in
avoided-
business and you want to,
Right.
you want to do things, like why don't you start a business doing something else?
Well,
Like,
and I feel like people don't have any moral standard either. Like if you're doing OnlyFans videos by yourself that are like traffic cone or otherwise, whatever you're doing, but they're by yourself, that's one thing. Like,
even if you have a partner and you're doing it with,
but it's the
that's
same like
one-
part. It's like you
the
two, you
same
do your thing.
but 100 men,
That you
that's-
don't know, that are your fans, that are random men. They're not even men in an industry.
The
that's
other
like,
thing that gets
they're not
me
other OnlyFans stars.
is if her mom was so accepting of what she was doing, and she said, oh, I don't give my mom the logistics, but like clearly her mom knew because of the financial obligation that these people had to go do this. I'm sorry. Why aren't you there? If you are truly supporting her in her journey, just as a safety factor, why aren't you there with her?
The lack of safety.
If you
is shocking.
approve this whole bullshit, I don't see why as a parent you wouldn't be like, listen, I understand you got security, but I'm going to be there. You want to do this? You think that this is something you want to do? Okay, great. Do it in front of me.
Yeah, right.
I want to be in the room.
If you wouldn't do something in front of your parents, right? Like I put stuff out there all the time. Now, I don't know, I haven't released them yet. I did some episodes of stuff with my dad.
Yep.
And I think it's the least amount of time that I've been on camera not swearing ever.
Oh, we've been pretty good even now.
No, I'm saying it's the most amount of time that I've been on camera doing a podcast without swearing are the episodes with my father because I have respect for the man. And I was raised that you don't swear in front of
Elders.
your elder family members or whatever. But that doesn't mean I don't swear in general. There's tons of podcast hours out there that aren't meant for my parents. And if they saw them, I might be a little embarrassed. But then when he's here, I don't do it. But it doesn't mean he can't go watch my content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying is like the I wouldn't do an OnlyFans because I wouldn't want my mom or my dad to see something like that and
No.
be like, I am just so disappointed. You know?
I would be
Like I have that shame in my head.
But it goes back to her parents never instilled that where your parents, like, you know what I mean? They want to be her friend.
Mm.
They're being her friend right now. They're not being her mother. What mother in their right mind would say, "Good job, honey"?
And if you're doing something like this,
What?
one thing that he didn't ask, I don't remember him asking, that he should have asked, that I would have asked, is if you have kids someday, would you let them do this?
Yeah.
Would you let them get ran through by 100 men in a day?
I
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're the one doing it, if you had kids someday, would you allow them to do this?
think that
You know what I mean?
yeah, I think that she doesn't have any concept of that
She's
right
so
now.
delusional.
She thinks right now that the world revolves around her and this
Well, her world does.
like it's just her. It's just her and her tripod or her point of view camera or whatever. Like she doesn't view anything past today other than I want to top this record and do this.
Mm.
I think from a health perspective, she needs to be
Evaluated.
evaluated
Physically and mentally and
mentally.
everything. Oh, yeah.
I think that there is a lot going on with her mentally. I think that this isn't I think the girl who broke down and cried is the real Lily, and she's the one that's
Trying to get out of this
Yeah.
shell of a
a
person.
human.
Yeah.
I think could she redeem herself and be like, this was a life that I lived and that's it?
Maybe.
Great. But now it's the notoriety.
Yeah.
She's doing it for the views. And know what's even funnier is that when you get old, those views don't follow you. Like
Yeah, when she
You're-
hits 50 or
like,
40
you're-
or
you're-
even 30,
that's my thing. Like your time to shine, honey, ain't that long. And the second you have a baby, see you later. Like
yeah,
it's not gonna be forever.
right.
So do you ride the train? And do you
She did.
Yeah, you know what I'm
100 of
saying?
them.
Do you ride that train and keep going with it until you physically can't do it anymore?
Or until people just give, and that's the thing. It's so impersonal. So like you're 23 years old, you're beautiful. Like she's a stunning, beautiful
She's
human being,
gorgeous.
right? And then one day she's not going to be.
Yeah.
Just physically, I'm saying. And the sad fact is that all of these men who pay her money and subscribe to her account and they only want it right now. It's all instant gratification because she's pretty and 23 right now, or 21 or 19 or whatever she was when she started, but that's going to go away. And there might be a few hangers on, but the majority of the popularity is going to go away because you're going to be old and gross. And they're going to, we all are.
Yeah.
That's not an attack on her. We're all going to be old, saggy, gross.
Look at
nasty.
Look at Pamela Anderson.
The
In her
people-
prime, she was gorgeous to people. She was
And now she looks like a plastic balloon animal.
Yeah, now she looks a little rough, like I mean
It's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah.
That's part of life. And the thing is like all of this extra people talking about you on a podcast and
none of it's gonna matter.
none of it's going to matter. And you are still going to be you.
Do
You're
you
still
think
going to
that
live with
she's
all
lonely?
this shit.
Do you
Of course
think that
she's
Do
lonely.
you think that she's
That's why she's
craving-
crying.
Do you think that she's truly just feels like she's alone? Because any guy that talks to her isn't talking to her because they actually like her.
Well, not at this point. And I don't think that anyone even like gives her that amount of, that's the sad thing. That's one of this million sad things is that no one gives her that respect to like get to know her and get to know who she is.
Does she have friends? I doubt it.
And I guarantee you she doesn't know enough about it. She's only 23. She doesn't even know what her favorite color is. Like she doesn't
No.
have like everything that this girl does is about what other people like. It has nothing
Yeah.
to do with her. She doesn't know what she likes. She doesn't have hobbies. She fucks for a
No.
living. That's it.
She's like a very hypersexual. Like, are you, or did you just fall into that category?
Yeah, it's just a rough place to be. It's really sad
That's
stuff.
so sad.
But I thought you'd want to, talk
I thought
about
this
it.
was great. I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, I liked it.
Um,
A lot of editing, but
yeah.
what is that?
My brother.
Oh.
Well, I hope you guys watch it, I guess. See what you thought about it.
You should. We'll put the link to the documentary in the description.
Yeah, we'll put the link here. Let us know your thoughts. I mean, it's wild. I don't think that it's kind of a boring documentary, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's nothing like too exciting, but it's the subject matter that's like riveting. You're like,
Just
oh,
like it keeps getting worse.
yeah, it keeps getting worse even afterward. You're like, oh,
And then you think about it. Like last night I felt like hungover.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
you just feel kind of like, fuck, I have no faith in humanity. Like it's just, oh man, really?
No.
Oh, sad.
It's sad.
Sad shit.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Follow us at the Real Aesthetic Pod on Instagram. We'll catch you guys back.
Like and subscribe to this channel.
Like and subscribe. Check out that one. We'll see you soon.